Państwu. Mam przyjemność rozpocząć następny panel dyskusyjny na temat bardzo ważny dla naszego regionu, na temat współpracy w ramach Partnerstwa Wschodniego, inicjatywy, która w tym roku obchodzi swoją 10. rocznicę. Chciałbym przedstawić naszych zacnych panelistów, gości, którzy podzielą się z Państwem swoimi odczuciami, w jakim kierunku to zmierza, jakie już mamy osiągnięcia. Chciałbym przedstawić pana wiceministra Ministerstwa Młodzieży i Sportu Ukrainy, pana Aleksandra Jaremy. Pana ambasadora Jacka Moltanowskiego, Departament Wschodni Ministerstwa Spraw Zagranicznych Rzeczypospolitej. Pani Olgi Habibuliną, niezależny ekspert z Białorusi. I pana Giorgi Agirbaia, organizacja Projective Group Georgia z Gruzji. Situation in Georgia is very different from Belarus. In reality, Georgia is one of the most active country in the European youth programs, and also one of the most, actually the most attractive country to host activities. So EU youngsters are happy to come to Georgia to have youth exchanges in Georgia, volunteering activities, but still, of course, there are challenges. How to involve rural youth, how to involve minorities in Georgia. What is your experience of cooperation, and what are your expectations towards the future?
So thank you very much, and it's my honor to be this amazing, excellent panelist and to give the overview about 10 years of Eastern Partnership and cooperation in Georgia from the representation of the civil society organization, as I represent also NGO, Projective Group Georgia. So briefly, I would say divide like in several parts. One is about what we get so far, because the entire year this was about reflections and summarizing what the Eastern Partnership achieved so far since Vienna conference in back to 2018 in December. So this all around these conferences gives us a lot of reflections which we can take as, let's say, lessons which we can learn for the planning during the upcoming 10 years, because now is exactly the time when we actually in the European Commission, they announced calls there as people who wants to make some contributions to the drafting, the plannings about the 10 years. We as the young people, our voice can be heard there. And we actually manage one of those cooperation with the UNEIGHBORist and cooperation with my university, Georgian Technical University, and our NGO, the international conference about 10 years of Eastern Partnership. There we had an overview of challenges and actually some kind of recommendation we already passed to the Brussels. So I can also review on this in general situation in Georgia. For sure, we are always happy and to host, let's say, one of the leadings, let's say, in the Erasmus exchanges, non-formal education is the background since I got in love since 2012-11. So that's really the thing which turned into my life totally other side, and I'm really much thankful for Erasmus and all these opportunities. For, I mean, it's different situations, different countries, but what I could say is that from the Georgian perspective, it's about that. We achieved many good things, let's say, thanks to Eastern Partnerships, because I could say very briefly summarize the direct impact was the 10 years. It's about visa-free regime that, like Georgians and young people, they don't need to wait for the visas, and they can have good possibilities, opportunities to join any other international activities in Europe or beyond. Another one is about the different projects which support the E4 business initiatives, E4 energy, about environment, pollution, and so on. So go to the people-to-people contacts and mobility, and Erasmus joint master's degree, Georgian, one of the leading in top 20 countries also. But what we get here and where we end up, so after 10 years, we have one of the unique schools, actually, first ever Eastern Partnership European schools. It gathers bright-minded young people from all around the 6 Eastern Partnership countries, and it's our honor to be in Tbilisi, and it's already second years. And when I meet those guys and people, they are really very much motivated to graduate, and they already know that it's not a big amount, they're like 30 students, but it's a good sign that this cooperation and collaborations can bring the new perspectives, how it should be, and the young people's voice are heard in a real situation, and that's a key aspect of what I see and what we achieved like in 10 years. For sure, there was this 10 years as like a homework to prepare for the upcoming years, and there was for sure the challenges, and I would go with the challenges. And challenges part, one of these about that, how to monitor and use this resource and potential when we get this Erasmus benefits. Let's say young people go abroad, they study, they get benefited, but when they go back and do as a country's developing situation, So there is not a lot of opportunities in terms of getting the proper job, for example, on labor market competition, and that monitoring and evaluating all this system could be from the perspective that they go mostly back. I know a lot of friends who is studying, working, let's say in Poland and all the European countries, and I got also a lot, why you stayed there and so long, but I believe that we need all these benefits. If we get it from any perspectives, we should keep it and use from the Georgian perspective, because that's what we do. For example, we have these challenges in regions also, like I think the most capital cities are very much favored for the getting vast of opportunities from the Erasmus different funds. That's why actually my organization registered in, let's say, near border from the Abkhazian border. It's like a Zugdidi, so we support a lot of regional projects to develop and to support, to raise awareness about the Erasmus, which a good start of this Erasmus, let's say, info centers in regions, which we have in Eastern Partnership countries, but I still think that they need a little bit much more capacity development, because those capacities could be really not much covering the whole area, because even though we are not that big country, so we have like this little bit bigger resources, and for sure it's amazing that Erasmus think doubled the almost budget and even more. What I could say, the more challenges about from the perspectives of the civil society organizations development and capacity development, because the general trainings are good, but I would say that more structured dialogue, more structural, let's say, cooperation, cross-sectoral cooperation with the governmental side, with the, for sure there's a lot of grants, but if using this a lot of grants, then it's amazing, but how we can effectively use this grant in a way that the countries youth can benefit, the maximum take out of it. Because after 10 years, when you want to realize we could learn from this lesson, then now it's that the point that not to lose these opportunities, what we have after 10 years, is, let's say, we shouldn't say that that was a great opportunity, how we could miss, but that's Erasmus, and I believe that with these 1 year reflections and learning points, we could develop more and more that this Erasmus, and one of the first commissioner and who is beneficiary of them, Excellency Mogherini. So to say that this was amazing, this was really great, and we can make more and step forward, and big steps that now if we made, let's say, 10 big steps forward for the 10 years, it should be at least like 5 times more, and at least we can achieve 3 times more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this very positive introduction. And yes, I believe that in 2029, we need to have at least 5 times more people involved, resources involved. And unfortunately, we have to finalize our discussion now, but I just would like to ask you for one short sentence about your vision, what will be with Eastern Partnership in 2029. Just one sentence. How do you see it?
Для України це членство в Євросоюзі.
Innego typu relacje, zbliżenie, skrócenie dystansu między partnerstwem a Unią Europejską.
How I see that Georgia in 10 years. So we see that many young people, many young Georgians get more opportunities on the stage like this, and they are making in real decision-making process in cooperation with the EU commissioners and EU representation, and for sure with our great partners from the Poland. Thank you.
Well, for Belarus, I'm always in favor of regions. So I'm in favor of seeing more regional representatives and more regional youth involved into the European Union and Eastern Partnership programs in Belarus.